Well, everybody, it's back. This week we had 40-degree weather. Yesterday it was 50. Everything was starting to melt, except the ice in the drive, of course. I woke up this morning, it's 22 degrees right now, and it was snowing and the wind was blowing when I woke up. Hey everybody, it's Gypsy, and welcome to On the Edge of Appalachia. Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. Yay, we're into March. As you can see, I did not go into the flea market, one, because of what it's doing in my area, that little clip I just showed you. But when I looked at the weather for where the flea market is located, and I do this because it's like a half an hour drive, but it's at a much lower elevation, so it makes the weather a little different there. Well, I had heard over this past week, with the warmer weather, all the rivers were breaking. And, the ice breaks up and it starts flowing like really fast because there's a lot of water. Well, now we're back down into the 20s. It froze and it's causing ice jams. And so if just one piece of ice decides to shift, the river overflows and there's flood. So that is a warning for the area where the flea market is. And I'm like, between the weather here and a possibility of all this flooding, and then it's going to just freeze over once it gets up on the roads and stuff. I'm like, I think I want to avoid that possibility. So I just stayed home today. And when the weather's like this, we're very slow. So I figured that half-hour drive is not worth it. Anyways, I ordered my additional grow lights and the little greenhouse. I have to have the little greenhouse with a cover over it because of my cats. Love those three, but they can be ornery and they love to get in my plants. So they're better, like outside, they'll get in the garden, but they don't do damage and they're not like digging stuff up unless it's in a pot. They're kind of like the squirrels and chipmunks will do that to me too. So indoors, they see all this stuff and they want to play in it. So I have to have them covered, which is why I bring my small greenhouse inside. I can cover it, zip it up, the cats can't get in there. So I can start my seedlings. Well, like I said, I have run out of room. It is jam-packed in there. I have tomato seedlings in containers, like the rotisserie containers, in front of me, and they're covered, but they're touching the top of the lid now. If I take that lid off and I turn my back, there goes all my seedlings because cats will get them. And it's like, I think I have, oh no, I have my Cherrylicious and my Mexico midgets in there. And I have a customer who wants cherry tomatoes, so the plants. So I need to get these going. Now here's the issue. Both items arrive at different times. My grow lights will be here Monday. Today's Saturday. The greenhouse setup, it says by March 10th, which is a week from Monday. I'm hoping it doesn't take that long. But I'm going to have to think of something in the meantime because I have to get the lids off these seedlings. I have absolutely no room in there. So I'm going to have to rearrange things. But anyways, as usual, I usually do my little drive time talk on Saturday mornings when I'm driving into the flea market. But when the weather's bad, I stay home. So I'm staying home today. I'm going to do it from my art studio. Let's see. So I was thinking this morning about gratitude. I think it is just so important, for your health, for your mental health. And, the way the universe works, everything's energy and an energy exchange. Now, this is the best way to explain it. I cannot remember who said this. I must have read it somewhere, heard it on a video, and I wish I could remember who. It may have been my favorite spiritual teacher, Teal Swan. But you have to look at gratitude when you're dealing with the universe, God, however you want to look at it. It doesn't matter. Especially if you're a parent, you can relate to this. So you make your child's lunch. You pack it. He or she takes it to school. Now, if your child, it's whatever, it doesn't seem grateful. You're like, and this would be my attitude as a mother. Okay, make it yourself then. Go ahead. You get that, that's okay. Well, they don't like it. I'm not going to do it anymore. There was no show of appreciation. However, if your child says, "Oh, Mom, Dad, that was so good. Thank you for packing my lunch." Well, then you're going to want to do it more, and you're going to want to put better things in there to get that reaction again. And this person said that it is the same way energy works within the, and we're in the universe, that exchange. So whenever you put out gratitude, now gratitude, yes, you could say a prayer, like, when people say grace before dinner, whatever. And, but saying that everything's an energy exchange, you do not necessarily have to, because, or when you talk about attitude, an attitude is the energy you're putting out with or without words. So, saying grace is fine as long as you're still putting out that energy. You could be saying a prayer and not putting out the energy that matches that prayer. Like, I know when I was Catholic, I grew up Catholic, the memorized prayers, it was like I realized one day, I'm not even paying attention to what I'm saying. I have these memorized all my life. So it loses something in the meaning, and then I was no longer putting out that energy. And then, I went from Catholic to United Methodist, and then I went from United Methodist to Assembly of God. So not having memorized prayer did help for a while, but then it just ended up like doing it because I had to, and the feeling, that energy was not behind the prayer. So, if verbal prayer helps you have an attitude of gratitude, as they like to say, that's great. But if you're like me and it just kind of gets mundane and you don't have the attitude, it's not really going to work. So, excuse me, I have got to harvest some purple dead nettle real soon. Okay, so with that analogy, I want to work with that, because gratitude, no matter what your station in life is financially or emotionally, like on a level of happiness and joy, whatever, this is applicable. Okay. Now, we all know things are difficult right now. And I tried to explain that all the systems on the planet, everything's going to be rebuilt. It needs to change because it really is not serving the people. Now, people like to think it is, but it's not, okay? The things they say they're doing for us aren't true. It's a cover, okay? So, that being said, in order to rebuild so it truly is what we want, you have to tear everything down. The deconstruction is very stressful, and it's fear-inducing for a lot of people. Now for me, I might say it's a little stressful, because for me, it's like I want things different. I want things rebuilt. But again, the deconstruction thing is on the stressful side. But at the same time, and this is going to make some of you angry, I am happy about it, because when this rebuilding is done, it's going to be better for the people. And I'm not just talking about the United States, I'm talking about the whole planet. Now, whether or not this comes to fruition, it's completed by the time it's time for me to leave this realm, I don't know. But that's not important to me. I want things to change for future generations. And I don't mean just for my son and daughter-in-law. I mean for everyone. So anyways, this is, for me, the best way I can explain to get through this, other than, doing what I do. If I feel like it's out of my control, I'll observe. But if you can have gratitude, this will help you get through. Okay? I really believe this. So, I have never had money. I've never been rich. I'd say in my adult years, most of it was spent under the poverty line. Okay. It's been difficult. I've had heartbreaking things happen in my life, okay? Many of you know, and I'll bring this up again just so you know the level of the heartbreak. My older son died 11 years ago. And I lost 2 babies through 2 different pregnancies, stuff like that. Right now, for several years, I have been going through something very difficult that I cannot yet talk about. I don't let it get me down, though, because I'm always putting out that gratitude. Okay, so that being said, everybody, and I mean everybody, has hard times in their lives. Everybody has painful things happen to them. Nobody gets through life scot-free with nothing bad happening. Now, this applies to anybody who, no matter your financial status, because I've seen people with a lot of money who are miserable. They're not happy people. So I don't really think it has anything to do with that. That's my opinion, though. Others are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. It's fine. It's the way you see it. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyways, you need to almost like take an inventory of your life. Okay, these horrible things happened to me during my life, or this is going on now. But what do I have to be grateful for? Now, I started, after my son died, to get my sanity back. I started listening to, my favorite spiritual I have a lot I used to listen to. My favorite is Till Swan. And at that time, she was producing videos that I really needed to hear, and they really helped me. Now, one of it was her talking about gratitude. And I'm like, well, how do you do that under these circumstances? And so then I had learned about keeping a gratitude journal. And when I was reading about it, they said you get in the habit of every day, what happened this day, or what can you think of today that you are grateful for? So I started doing that every night before bed. Now in this, I have to check my phone thing. Okay, I thought something weird happened again. They said, when I was reading this blog post or article, whatever it was, eventually you're going to get into such a habit of doing this, writing this inventory down, that pretty soon you don't even have to write it down. It's just there, you know it, and you could go to bed at night, be grateful, or at any time during the day, be grateful for the things you have, despite what is going on. And I thought, This would be appropriate to talk about during these times because this is very chaotic. To me, looking at the world all my life, it looked chaotic to me, but now, and I'd say over, well, the last 10 years, I would say it was like extra chaotic. So I think we really need to place our focus on what we're grateful for. And remember, what you focus on grows, okay? So always be mindful of that. If you're going to look at the bad in a situation, it's going to expand. It's going to be in your face. It's going to be all you can see. So try to do a gratitude journal. And do that every night until you're in the habit of seeing it. And, everybody has bad days, even after all these years of me being able to list what I'm grateful for despite what's going on. If something happens to cause me a bad day, I'm going to be honest and face that emotion. I'm in pain, I'm hurt, I'm sad, I'm depressed today, whatever. Okay? And it might be harder on that day to think of what you're grateful for. And that's okay. Because when you face the pain, it's going to go way quicker and you can get back to that. Now, you can also, like I am able, okay, this is what gets me through pain is, okay, this is really hurting me, etc. But what is keeping me still standing? What is keeping me still going on? Whatever that thing is, I have the list in my head right now, and yes, there are people in my life, my animals, gardening, stuff like that, my art. That's what keeps me going. And you will get in the habit of thinking of those that way too, even during the pain. So I'm not saying use it to spiritually bypass the pain, override the pain. You can't really, if you start overriding pain, like especially in the moment, you're only hurting yourself. So you could use it to help get you through, but don't deny that you're in pain. Okay, you can't. That's never a good thing. So getting in this habit has really helped me through the years. It had changed my outlook on life, my attitude. It's like when I was younger, okay? When my son died, it changed me. I mean, it changed who I am. First of all, I'm nobody's doormat anymore, where before that I used to be. Oh, it was bad. I used to worry, who's mad at me? Is this person mad at me? Etc. I used to explain myself. Everything I did, I was explaining myself. And I had a good friend of mine one day say, you owe no one an explanation. Not even me. You don't owe anybody an explanation. She has said a lot of things in my life. This is my good friend. I don't know how long we've been friends, 20, 30 years. She lives in the area. My friend of 51 years lives elsewhere. But she is always, her husband is a psychiatrist. Maybe that's where she gets it from. Has said so many things throughout the years. Some of them just like very casually, very flippant, that have really helped me and stayed with me. That was one of them. You owe no one an explanation. And this is where anger helped me. My anger when my son died helped me become stronger. Okay, so I stopped being a doormat. All right, but the best thing that happened was me starting the gratitude journal. So that's another, this is going to be hard to understand if you are going through something right now. So don't try to understand it right now. But if you're going through something horrible right now, I'm just going to say, for me, at the end of the tunnel, and there always is an end of the tunnel, I realize how that bad situation benefited me, the silver lining. But again, I mean, like, if you just lost a loved one, just put that aside for right now. I mean, because I know how that feels. I mean, if somebody had said that to me when my son died, all hell would have been broken loose. So please don't ever say something like that to someone who is freshly grieving. Do not do that. Yeah, and when you're going through something painful in that moment, try not to think like that in that moment. Just face it head on, and then you will get to that point where you can. Okay, don't force yourself into anything that's unrealistic in the moment. Okay, but anyways, gratitude, I'm going to say, brought me joy, because and you know, joy to me is similar to happiness, but not the same. Happiness is a temporary state of mind based on what is going on in the moment. That's the way I view it. I mean, technically, maybe in a book somewhere I could be wrong, but that is my perception of it. Where joy is more of a permanent state, and I know there's times when in the moment that something happens, you might not feel that joy, but it's still there, because what I have noticed since I have been able to focus on gratitude, which brought joy, I still get hurt, I still feel pain, I feel anger, but what doesn't happen is me doing what I used to do when I was younger and hold on to that pain and anger, bitterness, whatever emotion it is, and play the victim. Okay? So that's how gratitude has helped. Now, when you are grateful for things like, well, I'm grateful that despite everything in my life, including my son's death, I have a good life now. I'm happy, you know? It's a shame. It's a real shame. It took me until middle age to get to that point. I mean, I would have to say I was in my early 50s when I was working through my grief that I got to that point. It's a shame I had to wait that long. I wish I knew this stuff when I was younger, because I, almost like my identity was a victim, being a victim. My identity was this or that, things that weren't real about me. They were maybe superficial in the moment, but that wasn't who I am. And I wish I could have been like that. I think back in my day, like gratitude, being thankful, was used more as a guilt trip for like kids. So I think it would have been hard for me to grasp. Like would hear many parents say, like, maybe like at the dinner table and you don't want the food. Well, there's children in wherever who don't have food and are going hungry, so you should be thankful. That could be why it was harder for me. And I don't even really remember my parents doing that, especially with food, in that manner. I don't know, but there was like the guilt trips kind of made it like forcing thankfulness didn't work. I don't know. Anyways, I wish I had known that playing the victim. I mean, yeah, when somebody like say assaults you, well, you are the victim. You are. But to carry that victim mentality permanently with you throughout life, I think that's where I was when I was younger. And as an older person now, I have learned not to do that. And I remember telling my older son that I was trying to help him through what he was going through. And I said, honey, do you know when I started to become happier and live life more is when I stopped being, stopped playing the victim. Maybe I was too late with that advice. I don't know. But anyways, that was a huge thing for me, because when you're playing the victim, you cannot think of a thing to be grateful for. So gratitude, making that list, getting in that habit, helped me get in a joyful state. Also, with that energy exchange, like I said, you put that energy out there of gratitude, and the universe goes, ooh, I like that feeling coming. I'm going to give this person more of the same. So this is harder for me because I have never wanted to be rich or anything or famous. It's not something that appeals to me. I always wanted a simple, quiet life, which I do have now. I through gratitude and the universe, the creator, knowing my heart, what I really wanted, I have it now. So when you are putting out the energy of gratitude, you will keep getting more, okay? And I think before you could ever start learning how to manifest, you need to learn gratitude, because I think that is the biggest key. So, with all that is going on in the world today, and I understand people are afraid. I get that. Okay? Just because I'm different does not mean that I don't understand people are afraid. They're worried. Believe me, I get it. I'm not a cold bitch, believe it or not. I'm not. This is my perception, yet I understand why others are afraid. So, if you could get to that point, okay, despite what is happening in this world right now, what do I have that I'm grateful for? Okay? And make that list every night before you go to bed. What happened during my day? Or what can I think of today at this moment that I'm grateful for? And you will get in that habit. And you will start emitting the energy of gratitude. The Creator, the universe is going to pick up on it. Believe me, it does. Energy is more powerful than physical. And you're going to start receiving. Okay? You're going to start receiving. And the reason I said I never really wanted to be rich or famous is because I have a good life, but I'm not living in a mansion. And, it's not, I'm definitely not a rich person, but I'm happy because I actually have the life I want, if that makes sense. So always, the universe, creator, God, however you look at it, just make that list of what you're grateful for, what you have. Put it out there to the universe. God's gonna, this person likes this, and I like the feeling I am getting back. Therefore, I'm giving more. Now, if you're gonna be bitter and angry, God's gonna say, well, I don't know what God would say, but it's not an energy that bitterness does not seem to get much of a response. I guess that's the best way to put it. I mean, asking for help is always a good thing. But gratitude, I think you have the entire universe's attention when you're emitting gratitude. And believe it or not, you will start receiving good things by putting out this energy of gratitude. And I really believe, I know everybody's angry, they're hurt, they're afraid, and fear is something we have to do away with despite what's going on. That's a whole other video. It'll help get you through this time. It'll raise your vibrational frequency, which I think the best thing about having that attitude of gratitude is it raises your vibrational frequency, and you're going to feel that joy. I don't know if I've made sense. I've been babbling a lot. But that has been my experience. It's not like I don't go around, oh, thank you. I'm not like publicly doing, I don't do that. I do get excited about things, but being who I am, I keep it in, and I might get excited, oh, isn't that great? But that's it. But even if you're the type that kind of tones down your emotions in front of others, the energy is still going out there, okay? It's not like I'm jumping up and down and doing, well, I can't do cartwheels anymore. Well, I never could do cartwheels, be serious. I'm not the type to do that. Oh God, is it time? Is that purple dead nettle yet? I need it so bad. I have to go look at my stock and see what I have in there that could, ooh, licorice root. Okay, so anyways, I'm grateful for licorice root right now because it'll help with my sinusitis. Anyways, I got off track. Anyways, it will help you get through this. It's not going to stop bad things from happening. It's not going to control what other people do. You can control yourself. You can't control what other people do. But it will help you, okay? And no, I'm not. When I was a Christian, I was not the type, oh, praise Jesus and all that. I did not, okay? I might verbalize it in a more subdued manner, but it was more the feeling I was emitting out. And the universe, God, the creator, source, picks up on that. Because let's face it, God is pure energy. So, of course, God is going to pick up on that. And we are that energy. I don't know how to explain what I mean. We're from God, so we have that energy. It's not like the original energy, especially while incarnated. I think it might kill us anyways. It's so strong. God's going to pick up on that energy naturally because that is what God is. Pure energy. We are energy right now in a physical body. Even that is energy. So, that vibration you're putting out, God's going to get. Also, the vibration you're putting, the energy you're putting out, other people like me are going to pick up on too. Like I said, I can pick up on it through like a computer screen or my phone screen. It's a little much sometimes. But, so my point is, get in the habit of having that attitude of gratitude, that energy gets out there, and you will receive more good. Okay? It definitely helps your mental health. It's a wonderful thing. All those years of therapy I went through, I don't think I was ever taught that. So, it's a good thing. I wish I could explain it better and what my experiences have been. But maybe go to Teal Swan's channel and search for gratitude. I'm pretty sure it was her I learned it from. Of course, it's been so many years now that I could be wrong about who I learned that from. But anyways, I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.